Hi everyone, I'm Patrick Weeks and I'm the founder of Flying Elbow Golf. I wanted to take some time just to tell the story about how Flying Elbow came to be. So it starts way back when I was a kid. I was about, 4 years old, and my dad used to bounce me on the knee and we'd watch the PGA Tour. He'd record it after playing golf himself, and we would watch golf, and he would teach me about guys like Freddie Couples and Payne Stewart, and these were some of my heroes growing up. Of course, Jack Nicklaus. I think he came a little later, but so my dad got me some cut down golf clubs, and I went into the backyard in our house on Adira Street in Kerrisdale, and I would hit balls in the backyard. And one day I kind of got the hang of it, and I smoked one from the backyard. Goes through the window into the den where my dad was watching golf, and I thought I was in big trouble. He came out to see what had happened, and he actually had a big smile on his face. So that started my game of golf. And so fast forward, I started elementary school in Kerrisdale Annex, and I really struggled in school. I didn't have a lot of patience, and I was struggling learning how to read. So my mom actually got me diagnosed with dyslexia, and I was sent off to a school in Burnaby where I got some one-on-one support and actually was able to really catch up and excel. I went from not being able to read, and within about 9 months I was reading at maybe a grade 12 level, or close to it anyways. And so I went back into the elementary school system, and I guess just the structure of it, and I just didn't have a lot of patience. I wanted to be outside and golfing, basically. So in grade 5, one day, I just had enough. It was lunch hour, and the lunch bell rang for everybody to come back inside, and I was just like, I don't want to go back to school. I'm done. So I sat there cross-legged in the field, and the principal came out, my teacher, and my mom was called, and I just refused to go back to class. And so they sent me home permanently, and I was expelled kind of halfway through the school year. And my mom was just going through a divorce and had to start her career over, so she was studying for the real estate exam. And so I got some homeschooling in the morning, and she decided to send me down to the golf course in grade 5. And it didn't feel like a punishment. I was thrilled. So I went down to the golf course, and I started playing at the range and getting out on the course. And I met this she seemed like an adult to me, but she was probably about 18 years old, and her name was Lori. And she was getting lessons from a teacher by the name of Jack McLaughlin. And this was like March, so there was nobody around. It was still frozen half the days, and we'd practice and play a few holes, and she kind of took me under her wing. I didn't have a lot of direction or people in my life at that point, and she paid attention to me. And anyways, so fast forward a long time into playing golf, and I started playing on the high school team, and again got in trouble in school in grade 8, and my math teacher basically attacked me. I probably deserved it to some level, but not what he did. He picked me up by the scruff of my neck, dragged me across the room, threw me into a bank of lockers, and I got up, and I don't know what came over me, but I punched him and broke his nose, blood everywhere. This is in grade 8. Next thing you know, principal's office, mom gets called. Obviously the teachers assaulted me, and I'm just like, so the principal says, well, you can start a formal investigation, or and you're suspended immediately, or you can go to any school you want. And so my mom, in her infinite wisdom, knew there was something called a sports arts program at McGee. And so she said, well, get Patrick into the sports arts program. He can take an extra academic in the morning, get out of school at 12 o'clock and play golf. And there was another guy by the name of Matt McDonald who also got into the program, and man, that was great. So I'd take my academic early in the morning, get through my 4 academics, and I was at the golf course by noon. And it was just, I developed a love for the game, and I just couldn't wait to get out of school and go down to the golf course. So played in junior tournaments and had some success. Played in some Canadian juniors and the World Junior down in Florida, and just fell in love with the game of golf. And fast forward, into high school, still struggled with academics and didn't get good grades. But I spent a lot of time in Palm Desert with my grandma, and she lived on a golf course there, so I would go maybe spring break and spend time with her and play 3 rounds a day kind of thing. Anyways, I love my grandma a lot. Her name was Mima, and she was in Palm Desert half the year. So I decided to go to College of the Desert in Palm Desert, in junior college, and played on the golf team there and had a lot of success. We won state championships in 1998. Played number 1 on the team for 2 years, and I had some great results in college, but still kind of struggling. I got into some partying and drinking too much and these kinds of things, and just wasn't really focused. I was overweight. I didn't have any mentors really, other than my golf coach, Tony Manzoni, who was just an incredible man. He was my mentor, I guess you could say, but he had a lot of kids under his belt. But after college, first of all, during college, I had these incredible opportunities. I would caddy in professional tournaments and at private clubs down in Palm Desert. So I worked at some of the places like Bighorn, and we opened up a course called the Reserve, which was built by Bill Gates. So I actually got to caddy for him and met some guys like Oscar De La Hoya, Jason Giambi, and John Elway. Even spent some time with Michael Jordan and Jerry Rice, and I caddied another course called the Plantation. Anyways, this is where I learned how to be an adult, how to look adults in the eye, shake hands, be patient and listen and have some structure in my life. And because I was confident about the game of golf, it was a perfect segue into learning how to be a man. And in any event, I started playing some professional golf on the side while I was caddying to earn money. But I wasn't, I didn't have discipline. This was just the beginning of the Tiger Woods era. People weren't in good shape. A lot of the golfers were fat on tour, and it wasn't an athletic thing. And so I was eating crappy food and, didn't have an exercise program, but I was still partying and drinking too much. And so, I didn't have a ton of success, gave up the game of golf pretty well, and had to get a job. The partying and drinking kind of ramped up at that point. And I ended up getting my real estate license in 2003 and had a lot of success in real estate early on. Ended up taking over my mom's business in 2005, and in 2006 she actually retired, so I kind of took the ball and ran with it. And but at the same time, was still struggling with, at this point, what was definitely addiction, and caused me a lot of anxiety and just challenges in life. My whole world kind of revolved around that, and I wasn't golfing anymore, so I sort of lost my purpose other than working in real estate, which, again, getting a lot of success in that, got a lot of pride in it. But all that kind of came to a head, and I made the decision to stop drinking in 2007, and I honestly think it saved my life. I was 265 pounds, I was balding, I looked like a 40-year-old man, and I hung in there. I managed to stay sober and quit drinking, and my life completely changed. Business took off to another level, and ended up getting married shortly thereafter. And at this point, I'm a total workaholic. I work day and night, not golfing. And my wife at the time says to me, well, you got to have some balance. You got to do some other things. What do you like to do? I'm like, well, I used to like to golf. So in 2010, I started playing in tournaments, Canadian mid-amateurs, really getting back into the game of golf and loving it, but I hadn't played in a while, so it took me some time to get back up to speed. And And then of course we had children. So in 2014 we had my son Trevor, who was born, and then in 2016 we had my son Ryan. And my son Ryan now is he's a budding golfer. He's 9 years old and absolutely loves the game, and I caddy for him, and just really awesome. My son Trevor is so cool as well. He's a big hockey player, but a reluctant golfer. Anyway, so I've got to a point where, you know, I have so much to offer and give back to the game of golf. And so I've started something called, it's just kind of at the grassroots stage, but I've started an endeavor called the Canadian Junior Caddy Program. There's actually no caddies, no caddy programs except for one golf course in Victoria, which they have the Evans Scholarship Fund. But beyond that, there's no caddying, and I think caddying is one of the best ways for younger kids to get out of their house, get off their iPads and get out into nature, some fresh air, meet some adults, get some opportunities. And so I'm starting this initiative. So I've been speaking to private clubs and been speaking to a lot of different people in the golf world, and it's starting to get a little traction. So we'll see where it goes. But at the same time, I thought, okay, well, let's create some awareness for this caddy program. Let's do it through a golf brand. So when I was a kid, my first sport was baseball before I took up golf. And, you know, as you know, with the baseball swing, your elbow's up in the air, and that's how you get ready to hit a baseball. Well, I applied that to golf. So nobody ever changed it, and they thought my swing was weird, but I managed to figure it out and get some really good results. So to this day, I decided to call the brand Flying Elbow, and it's 100% charity based. We're going to be giving back any profits to this Canadian Junior Caddy Program, and so that's the game plan. So my friend Lee Tate is actually a full-time caddy on the PGA Tour for a gentleman by the name of ST Lee. So actually this week at the RSM Classic, we're going to be getting Flying Elbow. Lee's going to wear it. Flying Elbow is out on the PGA Tour, and I have teamed up with another brand called Red Rooster, and that's my friend Carrie Moore, who is out of the Royal Ottawa Golf Club. And Red Rooster became quite popular during the Canadian Women's Open with the red gloves. Very Canadian, pro-Canadian, not a ton of golf brands in Canada, and he's doing really well. So we've teamed up. He's excited about the caddy program as well. And one last thing I wanted to mention. So that woman named Lori that was getting taught by Jack McLaughlin, who started the junior program at Shaughnessy, which is now throughout Canada, getting juniors into the game. Her name is Lori Kane. And Lori, if you see this video, big shout out to you. You're an inspiration. You took the time to help a kid who was struggling and show me the game of golf. And she's now in the Hall of Fame. So incredible person. So I'm really excited to see how this thing all unfolds. I've started playing a lot of competitive golf again, and played my first pro tournament in 26 years on the Asher Tour in Sedona, and I've got my next tournament coming up in Tempe in Arizona, December 1st. So my friend Lee's got an off week and he's going to caddy for me out there, so I'll keep you posted on how that goes and how Flying Elbow brand goes and the Canadian Junior Caddy Program. So we'll just keep going, and just wanted to tell my story here today. If you have any questions or would like to get involved, give me a call, and look forward to chatting with you about all things golf, kids golf, Flying Elbow brand, and how you can get some products and support junior golf in Vancouver, BC, Canada, and hopefully we expand beyond that. So I got some big dreams for this, and thanks for listening. Have a great day.